Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time.
In this week's episode of the Kindness Project, we talk about horror, pride, and we have part 2 of our interview with Majida Burch from the Big Smile Collective.
Hello, one and all, to another episode of the Kindness Project. I'm joined by these two blokes to one is just reading the notes for this recording as we go into it, and one took part in the creation of the notes for this recording, and I am eternally grateful. Yes. Sorry, I've been listening to like murder mystery horror podcasts. A lot of them start that way, and I think.
What ones would you recommend?
So, do you want fiction or non-fiction? Because I primarily listen to fiction.
Non-fiction.
Okay, I don't have anything for you. Detective is a good murder mystery one. It talks about sort of the sort of reasoning behind murders as well. And I think they do an entire episode on crime of passion in the first season. That was really good. But I primarily listen to fiction.
Can I just check?
Sorry.
Can I just check? We are a podcast promoting the good that goes on in the world.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Uh-huh.
And we started the podcast talking about murder.
Just hold on. Your only interest don't have to be kindness, does it?
Exactly.
No.
You can have an interest in murder mystery as well as
the
kindness.
Solving of murder, the execution of justice.
It's a good skill. What if you ever have to solve a murder?
It doesn't happen every day, Russ, to be honest.
Peter and Beta all over again.
No, hold on. Right. This is how this podcast started. Charlotte said, I've been listening to a lot of murder podcasts. You went, what ones do you recommend? The ones that are facts. So Russ doesn't even want fictional murder. He wants real murder.
It's spooky season. I broke out some horror stuff. You know?
Fair enough. So Russ, are you a podcast listener?
Not at the moment, but I'm
getting into it.
I'm looking into moving into that area, yeah.
If you want fiction, that's my whole ballpark is fiction podcasts.
Go on, recommend some fiction podcasts for us, Charlotte.
Okay. One of the ones that I loved was a horror fiction podcast called The Magnus Archives. So good. Brilliant. And it was like psych horror.
Why is it brilliant?
Because it's sort of like it explored loads of like ideas about fear and the inherent nature. Yeah. But also it just like played on a lot of things that just like are very spooky, like the easy manipulation of sort of like our own perception. Yeah.
Yeah. When you said it plays on fears that are inherently spooky, what's the most unusual thing that you find spooky?
I don't know. Like faces that don't move, but they still like.
What, like on a picture? You mean like on a painting?
No. Like masks where people like that there's something like going on behind.
Lurking behind the mask.
Yeah. But
Okay,
sometimes masks are like not so spooky, and then sometimes like they can be quite creepy. But yeah.
Masks. Yeah. But I think masks are like a horror trope, aren't they? You know, like
yeah, but I also think that it also applies to like people with very stiff faces.
Who's got a stiff face?
Like people.
Are you talking about Russ again? In code?
No,
I was coming up there.
No, Russ
like
actually.
People who wear like really heavy makeup and like.
Are you talking about Russ again? Russ actually has got quite an expressive face.
Yeah, it's
when they told me that, they said you wouldn't notice the eyeliner.
Mate. I mean, just bear in mind that earlier in the summer, we were in Munich Pride, and
Good times, man.
good times. That day was an amazing day, wasn't it? Was a great day.
Yeah.
Turning up in Munich when we went on our little European train trip, and hitting Munich Pride and literally having a day of partying.
I'm gonna try and put like a map together and see if I can do like a tour of Pride in Britain.
Yes. That would be good to write about as well, Charlotte.
Yeah.
All your experiences around.
Yeah, and it could be incredibly fun, and like I just think it would be good.
Yeah, writing about the stories of the people. But why restrict it to Britain? Why not do a European Pride tour?
Well, we'll start with Britain first. We'll move on when I have some more money saved.
Yeah,
for international travel.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going a bit ambitious. Apparently, I'm paying for your flight coming back for Christmas, Charlotte.
Damn.
No, nobody told me.
Thanks, bro. Nobody told me either.
Well, I'm telling you now. You've got to make your own way back up, but I'm paying for your flight coming down.
I'll just get a coach. It's good.
Well, that's what I said. You've got. We know that actually coach is not the greatest night's sleep in the world, but a reliable form of travel.
Especially not when you get woken up at like 3 a.m.
By Polish border control. Yeah, as you do.
You'll buy a Dipsy costume for like 40 odd quid, but you won't pay for a flight home.
Right. What I'm trying to do, Russ, I'm trying to do this thing, right? Called teaching people life lessons. Now, there was an incident last week that I just want to talk about.
Wasn't on me.
Involving tea bags.
It wasn't on me.
All right, explain it from your perspective, Charlotte.
I messaged Mum asking where she got her tea bags because I wanted to buy some for myself. And she was like, "Oh, in like Asda or Sainsbury's," and I was like, "Well, I don't know if I've got one of those close by." And she was like, "Don't worry, I'll send you some. I'll send you a care package." And I was like, "No, haha." I'm thinking she was joking. And then she was like, "Oh, your dad says I'm only allowed to send you one tea bag." Like,
right. Okay. So let me just clarify one thing about that story. You are in what city in the country?
Glasgow.
Quite a big city, right?
Yeah.
What sort of like facilities wise? There's quite a lot.
Oh yeah, and I don't need the tea bags. I've got other tea bags.
The trouble with that is the facilities might be there, but they close by.
No.
What do you consider close by?
I did find a Sainsbury's, and I am going to make a trek to it.
Sorry, hold on. When you say a trek, how far is it?
About 20 minutes.
20 minutes walk.
Oh well, that's not far.
Walk.
20 minutes walk is close by. 20 minutes walk is close by.
Only about a mile.
It's the other direction to where you.
Well, no, it doesn't matter what direction it is. 20 minutes walk in one direction is fine. So you are asking us or asking Mum to send you a box of tea bags.
She was just going to do it on her own volition.
Right, and this is what I'm saying. Independence, Russ, right? This is what I'm saying about independence. I'm as bad. Like literally, I'll do stuff for Charlotte that I want to do with her, like the tour of Europe. So I'm as bad. Bit more expensive than a care package containing tea bags. But what we're trying to do, Russ, is teach our adult child lessons of independence.
I'm not saying don't do that.
Right.
And I can't tell you as a parent, I'm not a parent. But
go on.
It's a totally different kettle of fish travelling home to going to get some tea bags 20 minutes away.
Now are we
Scotland still a 6-hour trek?
No, it's longer on the coach, but Charlotte will be getting a coach because she'll learn that lesson. And can I just validate this? I could pay for the coach, Russ. I still might. But I'm trying to teach Charlotte some life lessons.
I have learned some lessons. You want to hear some lessons that I learned?
Yes,
No,
let's hear the
yeah,
lessons.
The lessons you've learned.
Fill the space. You don't need fancy ingredients to make good food.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
So what I've been doing is buying cheap noodles, like vegetable soup based vegetables, sweet corn, and like pre-cooked chicken. Chopping all that up, putting it in a pot, and you make yourself like a nice little
pot noodle.
Yeah, like cheap noodles, but like paprika in there and a little bit of salt, and you boil it all in a pot together, and it's actually really good. And you can make one pot, and it lasts you 2 days.
That's going to be on cooking on top this with Russ next week.
Yeah, like diced carrot and swede, and then you put sweet potato in there, and they all get soft, and it's nice, and it's 2. Any topping can go with anything. If you want to put that curry sauce with your pasta, no problems. It actually isn't bad.
You are eating like a proper student, like experimental.
I haven't got a toaster. And I've been craving bagels, but I haven't got a toaster.
But you have got curry sauce and pasta, clearly.
I've got a toasty maker. It's somewhere. I think it's in the wardrobe, but there's a lot of stuff in there that I just haven't unpacked yet.
When we do come up and visit you, Charlotte, I think we might be eating out.
I'll bring you a sample because I can make like 3 in one go. I often accidentally make too much, and that's what I like. Yeah.
I mean, it does sound a bit like that time I did dinner for everybody, and basically it was butter beans on its own.
No, but it actually comes out quite well, and I'm quite proud of myself.
I'm surprised that was an omelette.
No, it wasn't an omelette. It wasn't an omelette. I think there was egg involved, but there was an omelette in the mix. Right. Let's get back to the question we were going to ask. I don't want the stuff that's usually perceived as scary. I want the stuff you're scared of, but people go, that's strange that you're scared of that. So what's that for you, Russ?
I'm scared of everything. Literally everything.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah.
You know what? I wake up sometimes in the night and I hear a noise and it'll panic me terrible. I get so paranoid in the night when it's
Is
dark.
it more in the night than during the day?
No, I'm pretty paranoid in the day. I don't like You know what really bothers me? Any kind of noise that I'm not expecting.
Yeah.
That really panics me.
But you live in the countryside, Russ. That must be all the time.
No, not necessarily, because it's quite quiet, yeah. But because I've got pets, so I've got cats. Say they bring in a mouse, then they're throwing it about and they're different noises. You've never seen a cat and what it does to a mouse.
Yeah, have you not seen that?
So they play with...
The way you did it, how many cats have you got? 3. The way you said it, I'm just got this image of them playing tennis in your front.
More or less.
In your front room with this cat.
Funny story about a mouse and throwing it round. Once Ruby brought one in, threw it up in the air, it hit me right in the mush. Hit me right
Sorry,
in the mush.
hold on, can we revisit that? Your cat brought in a mouse outside. How did they throw it so hard it smacked you in the face?
So they throw them around the room, just playing.
How?
With their teeth.
Now you can't see the amazing dramatisation of a cat throwing a mouse because it's an audio medium and Russell's doing it visually. But just for me and Charlotte, can you do that again, Russ?
Yes, just like that.
And
I had something to say, but I can't remember what it is.
So literally, it's chucked it, and a dead mouse has smacked you in the face. Why have I never heard this story before?
Because it was something that happened and I forgot about it. Because
You forgot about a dead mouse hitting you in the bush.
Because we're talking about the cat making.
That'd be one of the most scary, memorable things of my life.
We're talking about because we're talking about the cats making noise. It's all a pop.
How often does it happen so that it's not like remarkable?
Oh yeah, it happens regular.
What? A cat throws a mouse in your face?
No, that's only happened once.
Oh, okay. Russ, I don't know if I'd keep that story to myself, but it is quite an amusing one, and one that I can't believe you'd forgotten that has actually happened. What happened then?
What happened then? I shut her out.
What, the mouse or the cat?
Oh,
okay, fair enough. Right, okay, let's move on. That is genius.
You still haven't answered the question.
Oh. I'm not scared of. I don't think I'm scared of much. There's things that I don't.
Charlie Big Bananas.
No, I'm no. I'm not. But I'm not scared. But there is stuff that I'll tell you what my weird one is. And I do really love a turkey shave. You guys know that we talk about turkey on the podcast quite a lot. The flame when they do the Turkish. I was going to say the Turkish slave. When they do the Turkish shave, and they do this thing where they get the hair out of your ears. And there was once when he actually burnt my ear, and since then, every time they give me the flame on the ears, I do flinch a bit.
I thought you was going to say that Barbara would take offence and slit your throat when you're sitting there.
No.
I'm a similar way with straighteners, because I had a burn not on my ear. I think it was like round the back, like on the back of my ear, and it was there for ages from the straighteners. That really hurt for ages.
What's never happened to me though, Charlotte? I've never been slapped in the face by a rodent. Which is good.
This is why I don't tell you these things.
Right. Sophie's come along. Do you want to join us, Soph?
Sure.
Yeah. And she's showing me the bruise on her arm. Do you want to tell podcast listeners how you got the bruise on your arm?
I fell over.
Oh, she fell over.
You fell over.
She fell over. She fell over on a rock.
It's very blue.
Yes.
Listeners,
like just my foot sideways, and I didn't just stop myself from falling like a normal person. I fell over like I had no bones in my body.
Oh no!
Just like
Can we just explore the conversation we had earlier, which was quite interesting. We were out for a day out. We went out walking today. We went out.
We saw cows.
We saw cows. We went out. We climbed a castle.
They weren't like in a cage. They were just cows.
And then Sophie decided to ask me a question. Do you want to share with everybody what question you asked? Yeah, it's the flat one.
If you were flat, would you still be able to live?
No.
No, but like if all your organs were still flat.
No.
No, that's what I said.
Yeah, but how did Flat Stanley live?
How did Flat Stanley live, Charlotte?
Story.
How did Flat Stanley live?
It's a fictional story. There is no way for the blood to move around his body or for his heart to pump if he is 2D.
There's flat blood.
Right, apparently there's flat blood as well.
But the heart has to physically palpitate, creating the 3D effect.
I know.
It does not work.
I know. You can't be flat. On that note, should we talk about something else? We would love, Charlotte, as this is a podcast that's been hosted by me and Charlotte for many years, we want to make sure we want to make sure that Charlotte's got the opportunity to showcase the project she's got going on in her life. So do you want to talk to us a bit about that?
Which one?
Mug of the week. Let's talk about mug of the week.
So I'm running low on mugs, and when I say low on mugs, I think I've got one left that I haven't posted.
Do you want to showcase what mug you've got left?
Well, no, because I packed them all away. I did like a deep clean today, so all of the mugs are in the kitchen. But yeah, I'm looking for some corporate mugs, guys. I need, I'm just gonna get some more fun mugs because I had to stop doing corporate mugs because I ran out of corporate mugs. So, but yeah, I am doing a mug thing. But yeah, Charlotte's _mug of the week on Instagram. Go and check me out, I guess. Yeah, can't see the hand motions I'm doing, but they make me feel better about this announcement.
So mug of the week on Insta, and then
Charlotte's mug of the week on Insta.
Charlotte's _mug of the week on Insta. And what's going on at charlottedames.com?
charlottedames.com. So if you're listening to this on the day it comes out Thursday, there should be an article up today. If not, hit me up on the Twitter because that needs to be done every Thursday. I haven't decided what the topic is yet. That'll probably get decided when I'm writing it Wednesday.
What do you think you're gonna write about?
Well, I usually just sort of listen to things going on, and then whatever causes me to have a chain reaction of thoughts sort of gets taken and I research it. I think the last one I did, I can't remember what it was. There's a post about it on my Twitter from last Thursday. So that would be Thursday the 6th. So if you're listening to this on the 13th, new one should be coming up today, but if you're not listening on the 13th, new one should be already up. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just on charlottedames.com now, and unlike Raz, I haven't visited in a while. I need to read a few of these. And yeah, I mean what really makes me proud is just the diversity of the stuff that you've been writing about. Effective sounds, Regency literature, because you're doing that at uni at the minute. Yeah. Electric vehicles, philosophy, birthday traditions, and my personal favourite, and I haven't read it yet, toilet paper.
Oh, the invention of toilet paper, but also sort of what they used before toilet paper is in there a little bit. I did some research and it was they use
sponge on a stick,
minerals and rocks. So
rocks.
Read the article, guys, for more information.
Right, exactly. That's your teaser. What did they use before the invention of toilet paper?
And to pull you into reading the one about electric cars, let's just say they started a lot earlier than you think.
Real folks are electric cars, aren't they? So
yeah, and if you backtrack back, one of the most fun ones to research, I think, in recent sort of times was the invention of the bus. So just backtrack back to that one, and it's such a surprising sort of that's such a good one. One of my favourite ones to research.
Fab. Okay, the invention of bus. All good stuff.
Well, so technically omnibuses, but I'm just tangenting now.
Fair enough. Right, we are going to watch them. Can I also mention the book? The Kindness Project book is out very soon. Raz, can you tell everybody where they can find out about the book?
www.kindnessproject.co.uk/book.
Okay, great stuff. And where can Charlotte people find out a bit more and just get in touch and talk?
So on Twitter, we're at All of Kindness as sort of a podcast. But if you want to follow the old man on Twitter, it's Chris Dames at Chris Dames. If you want to follow me, it's Charlotte J Dames. Dames is Daems. The Facebook is the Kindness Project. type it into the search bar, same with Google. And then the website is www.thekindnessproject.co.uk. As Russell just said, the email, if you want to email us directly, is ola@thekindnessproject.co.uk. Yeah. And if you want to get in touch with us anywhere else, we will need to create a new medium. If you want to telepathically link with us, you're certainly welcome to try. And I don't know what that requires, but give it a go. And one of us may receive your message. If you're going to telepathically link with us, leave us your contact details so we can get in touch back, because I'm not sure either of us is capable of telepathic communication.
No, I am. I'm good at it. I'm good at it. What are you getting, Russ? What's the message, Russ?
No, that's just the caffeine.
Yeah,
what's the message?
Yep.
Turn this off.
Right, let's move on to a little bit of kindness. Part of the Kindness Project podcast is showcasing amazing people doing great stuff in the world. And the first one that I want to do is, and again, we're getting these from the Independent's top 100 inspirational people. I'm going to talk a little bit about Simon Gosling. Simon from Cheltenham launched a nationwide school uniform recycling initiative to help parents cut the cost of having to buy school uniforms. Simon recycles outgrown clothes and reduces large amounts of waste going to landfill. Uniformly is a free online marketplace where parents, schools, and parents and teachers associations can buy, sell, give away and recycle outgrown uniforms direct to other parents. This is such an amazing idea, because there are, speaking as somebody with two daughters, one who's gone through the education process and one who's currently going through like primary and secondary school, and then another one who's going through it at the minute. Uniforms can be a bit of a nightmare. And actually I imagine that there's so much waste when it comes to uniforms that building this platform where people can swap, share, do what they need to is amazing. Members from more than 3,800 schools across the UK are now registered, and Simon is working alongside school uniform suppliers and local authorities to improve sustainability, social inclusion and child poverty prevention. Amazing work building that platform, Simon. Well done. Charlotte, can you tell us a little bit about Luke Grenfell-Shaw?
Yeah, sure. In 2018, Luke was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, aged just 24. Fast forward to 2020, he set off to cycle from Bristol to Beijing to show what you can achieve when living with cancer. Luke from Bristol completed the 30,000 kilometre cycling through 29 countries and raising more than £125,000 for charity, including Young Lives vs. Cancer. What Luke has achieved is remarkable, says one of the many who nominated him. But the hope he has also given to others is indescribable. Along the way, Luke inspired so many people and had more people living with cancer join him on his tandem bike, and all with a smile.
I absolutely love that. That's brilliant. Well done, Luke. And it does show what's possible, even in that particular environment of adversity. So fantastic to hear. Let's move on to the interview for the podcast. We've got part 2 of our interview with Majida Burch from the Big Smile Collective. Let's listen to it now. Tell me a little bit about the collective then, the Big Smile Collective. What is it? What does it mean? What's it designed to do?
Okay, so the initial idea came out of doing something for the community in terms of bringing clothes swaps to Havering, and Havering Council were looking for sustainable project ideas. So we felt that it was something that we could bring, because we have that fashion background, and also I used to volunteer at clothes swaps, so we knew how to run them efficiently. So we've put together an idea which we're working now with New City College in the Ardley Green campus, and every month on a Tuesday, second Tuesday of the month, I think, second Tuesday of the month, 5 till 7. We will be there with, at the moment, it's 6 rails of clothes. It could easily expand to more because they have a bigger space that we could expand into, including a catwalk and all sorts of things. So it could be not just a clothes swap, but clothes swap and, makeup,
fashion show,
all of it, everything. But at the moment, it's £3, and people can come along and swap up to 7 items of stock, and that could be anything: clothes, handbags, accessories, as long as it's in good quality. Yeah.
And then effectively they're bringing their own clothes and then just exchanging it for stuff they like. What's the idea for the people coming along? Is it freshen up their wardrobe? What's the idea of it?
Yeah, so the idea is really around textile recycling. So there's a massive amount of clothing that goes to landfill. So if people bring in things that don't quite fit and then take away something that does, they're reducing the amount of clutter in their homes. They're also making sure that the things that they've given away don't just go in the bin. They've got a new outfit out of it. There's also workshops there, so we're teaching people skills. So last month it was turn a t-shirt into a shopper with no stitching. This month it's going to be screen printing patches, and you can sew them onto something so people can take them home, or we can have thread there and help them to, if they've got like a rip on their clothes, to mend things. So it's like teaching skills around repairing clothing and keeping clothing in use a lot longer than it would have been. So repurposing things. So obviously we'd like in the long run to have someone there maybe sewing things for people, or helping people to combine 2 outfits into one, or sewing classes, all sorts of things that could be run alongside it. But at the moment, it's a venture with Havering Council, New City College and ourselves, and the idea being that, they bring in their own stuff, but there's quite a lot of stock already, and if they didn't find anything they like, they can bring the tokens back the next month when there'll be more stock. So they're even if they exchange their clothes and don't go home with something that time, they can come back next month and find something. So it's a way of clearing out their wardrobe and knowing they can get something back for it, rather than just leaving a bag at the charity shop.
Yeah, gotcha. Do you think fashion has become too disposable?
I would say that some of the quality of the fast fashion items isn't what you would expect from a piece of clothing, in terms of like the way we I did tailoring at college, and I know how well-made clothes look, and a lot of the stuff that comes through isn't well-made and isn't going to last more than 5 to 10 washes, and isn't going to make someone look good because it doesn't fit them well. So I think fast fashion's got a great place when you haven't got any money, but it isn't great for the planet, and it also isn't great for the people wearing it necessarily, unless they've got an amazing body and have really pulled it off. A lot of the time, cheap stuff can end up looking cheap. So the nice thing with a swap is someone might have like designer label things sitting around, but they don't fit anymore.
Gotcha. So
they then sort of release quite good quality things. They're welcome to bring things that they're not that bothered about as well, because we can always drop things to the charity shop or reuse them or remake them. But a lot of the time, what people bring in is things that were too good to throw away, but they haven't fitted them for years. So sometimes a swap, you can get gems. I've got loads of outfits that I've had from swaps before that have been like really, really nice outfits. And every time I wear them, someone goes, "Oh, where did you get that?" And I'm like, "From a swap."
Yeah. And that's the thing, isn't it? I think that I certainly know that I've sort of checked my wardrobes and found stuff that isn't for me now for whatever reason, but I just don't want to waste. So actually donating it or sort of coming along to a clothes swap makes perfect sense. And then sort of who turns up? What kind of crowd are you getting at the clothes swap? Who comes?
It's in its early days, so we've had 2 swaps so far. I feel like 2 or 3. And at the moment, it's mostly people we've invited, or people the college have invited, or people who sort of heard about it from word of mouth. It's definitely growing. We've got 3 more in the run up to Christmas. So what we're hoping is by the end of that, if a few people tell a friend, then we'll get a sustainable amount of people. But at the moment, we're making sure that the grant money is covering things like having a workshop, so people are learning things. We've bought all the equipment, so there's rails, changing rooms, mirrors. So it feels like people are having a real shopping experience, not just coming along to a jumble sale and finding things that they're like, well, I don't even want any of that. And a lot of it as well, Chris, is about reimagining a swap for people. So a lot of people kind of go in and go, oh, this isn't what I thought I would see at all.
Yeah.
And that's part of the purpose of the project, is saying, actually, because I mean, me and this used to sell vintage in Camden Town in the 80s and 90s. Probably 80s. And it's like, you need to have good quality things put out, and you need to present them really nicely. And if clothes are put out on lovely wooden hangers, on nice rails, and there's, people chatting, and it's a really nice experience, and you're learning something, and there's a drink, and there's this, and it's a whole different experience. And so part of the project is re-educating, not
changing the environment, isn't it, that people expect. Yeah, that's
and
interesting.
for the students, we're struggling, if I'm brutally honest, we're struggling to get the students engaged. We don't know whether it's because getting secondhand clothes is not something that looks attractive to them. We feel that may be part of the barrier. So there are some students coming, but it's mostly people coming into the college. But we're going to experiment with trying to do something during the college day, and trying to get students themselves to get people to maybe come in and have a preview. So that bit will get resolved. But I think there is a problem with younger people in general in terms of the image. Some people do get it and quite like buying vintage, but for most people it's a bit like, why do I want someone else's dirty shoes? Or what do I want something when someone else has been in it? And that is a perception that you have to get around. But if actually half of the stuff comes in with a label still on it,
but there's definitely a market. There's definitely a market for vintage, right? I mean, as you say, like sort of Camden's full of vintage stores, and I remember when probably about a year ago now, they did one at York Hall in Bethnal Green that Charlotte wanted to go to.
Oh, they're
absolutely
really
rammed, absolutely packed. So there is a market, but I suppose it's just finding the local appetite because I think people are used to going into London, aren't they?
So at the moment, I guess it's a mix of people who've heard, as I say, people, Havering Changing have brought along a few people. They've got something called In the Know volunteers, where people experience things and then tell people about it. So they sent along one of their In the Know volunteers, and some of their steering group have been along. And the more people within the community, they go, actually, for £3 I was really pleased. That's what we're kind of hoping. And the £3 is only really was two reasons. One is, you probably know this, when something's free, people don't always respect it. And the second one is just that if enough people came and paid £3, that would pay for the workshop and pay for the people to staff it. So it's not ever really meant to be a profit-making enterprise. And if it did make a profit, it would be put back into educating someone to do another swap or buying equipment, that kind of thing.
So I've got mine. I will share it in a minute. What item of clothing from? So I'm 45 now. So the item of clothing that I'm thinking of might have been from the late 80s, early 90s. I can't remember specifically. But what was the item of clothing that you'd love to have in your wardrobe that you wore 20, 30, whatever number of years ago? Lisa's got one. I saw you look at Lisa there. She was like, Lisa knows already straight away.
No, she was saying Levi's. So and it is true. I do love a pair of Levi's, and I did, even though it's like 30 years since I sold a pair. I went to a Levi's shop and he had them all size. I'm not going to sound psychic, but they were size, and I picked one up off. And I went, these are going to fit me, and I tried them on, and they were perfect.
Amazing.
Out of all the shapes, I could just see them and know. And there is a skill to buying the right pair of Levi's. So
it'd be a pair of Levi's.
If I had to pick it would be like faded, and maybe ripped knees slightly, and not the ones where they went a bit silly and started to sew flags on and all that. That was like way too far. Just slightly ripped and sort of pale Ross, or Nick Cayman style Levi's. I guess.
Gotcha. Now you are showing your age, talking about Nick Cayman and Ross. And what was Lisa's? I know she doesn't want to jump on, but if she's there, she might as well tell us. She's not going to tell us, no? Right. While Lisa's thinking about it, let me tell you mine, right? Mine is, I used to have an amazing pair of Fila trainers. Do you remember Fila?
Yeah.
And they were pea green. They were like an awful colour, but absolute suede pea green Fila shoes. And if I could get a I probably could if I looked hard enough, but that would be my bringing those sort of weirdly coloured shoes back would be my my vintage purchase. Now, doing the research for the interview, has Lisa got hers, or she's not telling us?
Liz? No.
Right. So, doing the research for this interview, I did have a look on the Big Smile Collective page on the Brennan and Burch website. And I know that you've got some values there in terms of sort of the things that you're aiming to for the Big Smile Collective to be. One of them is about collaborative community. And what does that mean practically when you're doing the work you do?
I think practically it just means for us always reaching out to as many partners as possible in terms of organisations, and also as many people within the community as possible. So the more the merrier. So is it like we will never say no? Someone says, "Oh, do you need any help?" It'd always be yes, even if what they could only give us is some space, or we can put a poster up in a window, or whatever. Every little bit of help will make the project a success. And likewise, if everybody does a little bit. So we had a meeting with the college and also some other waste minimisation people and all sorts of interesting ideas around recycling and stuff like that. And it's nice to be there as well, having those conversations.
Yeah, and getting it and giving people the chance to get involved in their way, right? You know, that's the big thing, because not everybody might want to attend the event, but if they can add value and make our communities a better place, then why not?
Yeah. So, for example, one of the ideas will be that for the other campuses, they might do collections. So even if they're not ready to set up their own swaps yet, maybe they would do collections and send stuff over, and then the students can get involved in that process. Or even, bigger dreams. There's a module within one of the courses which is, how to run a clothes swap. Imagine that, and at the end of it, they've got the skills to go in and set one up. Like that would be a great add-on to a course, wouldn't it?
I love that. Absolutely love that. So that's part 2 of our interview with Madge. Look out for part 3 next week. To finish off, do you want to do your little bit at the end, Charlotte?
'Tis the end of another podcast, but the end is never truly the end, because the end is always the beginning of something entirely new. What are we doing this week?
Well, this week I want to talk about somebody who has, and again, we've got the book coming out in November, who has had a positive impact on my life through the work that I've done on the podcast and the book. And that lady in particular is a lady called Ruth Hughes. Now, Ruth is a positive psychologist. She's somebody I got introduced to her through a friend and contact of mine. And when we interviewed Ruth, Charlotte, I went to the University of East London, where she's an academic, to sit down with her for what was meant to be an hour's interview that ended up being 2.5 hours long. And the reason it was so long was because Ruth's insights into the world of positive psychology and how we can be happier individuals and improve our own personal well-being was so insightful. I just couldn't stop listening and asking questions. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. So Ruth is featured quite heavily in the Kindness Project book because her insights in terms of how we can be a bit kinder to ourselves, which, I believe that if we're kinder to ourselves, we've got more energy to give to others. So it's about getting that balance right between making sure that we are improving our own mental health and well-being so that we can give more back. Ruth's insights into that are incredible. So I don't want to spoil anything by sharing some of those insights on the podcast. You can go back to the interview, and we'll make sure we put Ruth's interview in the show notes so you can link back to it. But definitely pick up a copy of the book, because talking about being kinder to ourselves and then having the ability to be a lot more kinder to others is a passion of mine and a very important thing to do. That's it for this week. Have a lovely week, and we'll see you next time on the Kindness Project.
Bye.
Bye.